Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Got to tell you about the weather here today. It is snowing outside, and it's cold. I would say we have about 4 inches of snow out there. It is beautiful, but eventually it turns, eventually it turns to slush and ice and gets to be a mess. But that's okay, spring is on the way. Smash that like button now, smash it, and subscribe. Today's topic is going to be a man of integrity. What does that mean to be a man of integrity? Does that mean you never make mistakes? That you're perfect? No, integrity is a perfect ideal. It's something you can strive for. And the value of striving for integrity comes in that people can believe in you. And you have peace of mind, you have contentment, you have a feeling of fulfillment. Because a man of integrity has a vision, he has goals, he has dreams. Now, what does a man of integrity do when he makes a mistake? As soon as he realizes that he has made a mistake, he goes back and admits his wrong. He doesn't grovel or beg or beat himself up. He goes back and says, hey, I was wrong about this. Is there anything I can do to make it right? Obviously, if you shifted somebody out of some money, maybe you didn't do it on purpose. There's times when you do deals and you don't really realize that you can actually be dishonest without realizing that you are in the moment. But after you get back, because you can get caught up in the situation, but after the emotion of the sale is gone and you get back and look at it realistically, then you can see, maybe I wasn't being 100% honest here. And if you weren't, and you can see that, then you need to go back and explain that to the person. I was asked a question the other night, and I gave an answer. It wasn't dishonest, but it was misleading. And I was in a group of people, and as soon as I said it, I thought to myself, now, there was a motive there. I wanted them to see me in a certain way. And so because of a fear that jumped up, I answered the question, not blatantly dishonest, but leading them to believe something was happening that wasn't actually happening for me. It is happening for other people, but it wasn't happening for me yet. So after I said it, I had a feeling of discomfort. And I thought, you know what, that was not being completely honest. So I had to tell them that, hey, I was wrong. I feel like I wasn't being completely honest with them, and I explained the situation. Now, did they care? Probably not, because it was something very insignificant, but I could tell that it wasn't right for me. Now, someone else, that may not have bothered them, and that someone else may be a man of integrity. But you have your own internal moral compass, and you have to live by that. And I knew as soon as I said it that it wasn't being honest and I wasn't being true to myself or being true to them, because I presented something I wanted them to believe that wasn't true yet. But because of my ego, I said what I said. So I had to come back and say, hey, I was wrong. I feel like I was being dishonest. This is the way things really are. Now, that is a man of integrity. Now, I'm not saying that to brag about myself, because I make mistakes sometimes and I can't see them. That's the value of having an accountability partner, a mentor, someone who knows everything about you, because he can see through your bullshit. And you need someone who can see through that, because we can't see ourselves many times as we really are. Now, there's the value of having a group of people that you can talk to, that you trust, not on the same level as your mentor, but on a different level. And you can see yourself in other people. A group where you talk about your challenges in life, maybe challenges in business, relationships, whatever it happens to be. And as each person speaks, if you listen to them, you can see yourself in the other people, especially the ones that annoy you. There's always groups of people you go to where maybe there's someone that you really don't like. That person has a message for you, actually a more important message than the people that you like, because he or she is reflecting back to you something within you that you're not willing to look at. Something in you that you don't like, but you don't want to accept that part of yourself and look at it so you can change it or become different or become more of the man you desire to be. But a man of integrity, at least in my opinion, is a man of true success. I had someone ask me, it was actually one of my ex-girlfriends, said, well, look at him over there. He's successful, he's rich, and he's dishonest, and he's this, and that. Of course, we all know people, at least we think we do, that are successful, and they got their money by being crooked or dishonest or deceitful or some way that you feel is not right. Okay, first off, if you see that in someone and it annoys you, you need to look within yourself and ask yourself, where am I being deceitful, dishonest, and crooked in my life to other people or to myself? To thine own self be true, then you can be false to no other man. Think about that. Unless you're honest with yourself about who you are, you're not able to be honest with anyone else. And honesty is not for other people, it's for you. Because dishonesty, resentment, anger, frustration, guilt, shame, all of these things eat up the container it's stored in. And guess where it's stored? Within you. Your anger towards another person does not hurt him. Your resentment towards another person does not affect him. Your shame about things that happened in your past hurts only you. Your guilt accomplishes nothing. Now, the feeling of guilt, you can use that to motivate you to become more of what you want to be. It's an indicator, that's all it is. If you walk around in guilt and shame most of your life and calling yourself names when you make a mistake, or just when you don't make a mistake just because you feel like that's what you are perpetuating more of the same thing that you don't like, that you don't want in your life, that you don't appreciate about yourself, that you want to be rid of. You want to get this stuff out. And until you get it out, you will never achieve any true success. Or you may get millions of dollars, but it will not satisfy you. And that's something else that you need to think about. A man of integrity realizes that the joy is in the journey. It truly is. He knows when he gets to the goal that that's not going to be the all in all, that that's not going to be the pinnacle of his life. Because he has set many goals and reached many goals, and he's realized through experience that achieving the goal, it gives you a certain high, and it may last for a few hours, maybe a couple days. But after that, you have to set another goal. You're always going to have to set another goal. The time is now. If you're not happy now, as one of my old mentors told me, I was complaining about money, not having enough for something, or cash flow, I think that's what it was. He said, Mark, until you have enough money, until what you have now is enough, you will never have enough. And there's a lot of wisdom in that. Because we're always going to be wanting more. But we have to be satisfied, happy, and accepting and grateful and appreciative of what we have. Everything you have today is something you wanted yesterday that you thought would bring you happiness or peace or contentment. But it doesn't. It never does. You're always going to be reaching for more. So what a good thing to do is to be happy, content, and satisfied with what you have, but still have a desire for more, still be moving towards more, or to become better, whatever your goals or success or your desire happens to be. But knowing that you're not going to be, cured of desire when you get there, or complete when you get there. You are complete in this very moment. And your completeness and acceptance of that completeness is what allows you, it's like a foundation. It's what allows you to press on to expand. To achieve more is just to expand as a human being. It's not in the achieving. It's not when you get that person, place, thing, amount of money, whatever it happens to be, that's going to fulfill you. It's a form of expansion as you strive toward these things. And if you're not expanding, you're contracting. And contraction leads to depression. We have many, many people here in the United States who are depressed because they're not expanding. They have no goals. They have no purpose. They do nothing except go to work, come home, go to work, come home. There's an old saying, they work for bread so they can have enough bread to eat, so they have enough strength to work for more bread. What a miserable existence, right? But you're listening to me, so you're probably not like that, or you don't want to be like that, or you want something different. And I do too. I'm very happy, content, fulfilled, more so than I've ever been in my life. But that doesn't mean I can't get off track and start focusing on something I desire so badly that I forget that I have a wonderful life. And I get to thinking, although not consciously, that if I get this, man, things are going to be better. And that's not to say when you achieve things that your life isn't better. Of course, it's better to live in a house than to be outside on a day like this when it's snowing, it's cold. Yes, I would much rather be here than a cardboard box. But as I sit here many times, I hear the heater come on, and I think how wonderful it is. I have heat. It just comes on automatically. I don't even have to think about it. And if I'm a little cold, I just go in there and turn that thermostat just a little bit. Now you may think, oh, that's ridiculous, Mark. It's not ridiculous to be grateful for that if you've lived in a place where you don't have that. And when you start realizing that probably 85% of the people do not have that luxury. Maybe it's 75. I think it's like 85. I read sometime, a couple years back, that I'm pretty sure it was 85, but let's say 75, so I don't be overly optimistic is not the word. But let's say it's 75% of the people get up every morning to search for firewood so they can cook. Do I have to search for firewood? Do you? More than likely, all you have to do is go turn on the stove. These things you need to appreciate and to be grateful for. Why? Because the more you're grateful for something, the more you appreciate something, you're focusing on that, you're bringing more into your life. More of what you appreciate. More of what you're grateful for. Now, when you focus on what you don't like, you bring more of that into your life. And back to a man of integrity. A man of integrity is constantly looking within himself. He's taking inventory. What's going on inside of me? Because he realizes that every action he takes springs from a thought. So he watches his thoughts. He catches himself as if he is complaining, and he stops and starts to focus on something good. Whatever you focus on grows in your experience. I can't say that enough. And continue to say that to yourself, to keep that in mind. Watch out what you focus on throughout the day. What is everybody focusing on now? For the last 2 years, most people have been focusing on this current health crisis. What's going on? Some people are so focused on it that it has consumed their life. Some people are actually staying in. They're afraid to go out. The fear is controlling their lives. That's another thing. A man of integrity constantly watches to see if his actions are based on fear or on faith. Belief, if you like. Faith, belief, whatever word you choose. Some people believe faith is a religious word. It's just a word. Faith is the evidence of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Belief. When you believe you can have or do something, you take actions as a result of that belief. Your beliefs control your thinking and your reality. I'll say it again. I said it yesterday. Henry Ford said, if you believe you can, you're right. If you believe you can't, you're also right. So whose choice is it? Someone out there? Is it the media's choice? Is it the government's choice? Is it the CDC's choice? No, it's your choice to believe whatever you choose to believe. But another thing a man of integrity does, he's careful of what he allows into his mind. If he doesn't want to be afraid, he doesn't listen to things that will make him fearful. Many people have some of the news media channels on 24 hours a day. Well, maybe not 24 hours, but I know some people, because I've worked in people's homes, my clients, have it running all day long when I'm there. it's tough. I don't want to listen to it. But so that's a real challenge. I have to try to block that out because I don't care to listen to it. First off, who knows how much of it is true? Who knows how much of it is slanted to get ratings? So I don't know what to believe, and I really don't care to hear it, because what can I do about all these terrible problems in the world anyway? And guess what? As many terrible things that are going on every day, and the news would have you think that's all that happens, there are many, many acts of loving kindness going on too, but they don't make headline news. So you need to remember that. A man of integrity evaluates things in life. He looks at things objectively. He doesn't fix his mind on things. He keeps an open mind and focuses on a positive and tries to just allow positive things to come into his mind. And that keeps him running straight and true. All these things affect you. All these outside influences affect you. The more of them you can cut out that are negative, the better off you are. You don't become a man of integrity with no effort. And am I saying I'm the best man of integrity there is? Of course not. I'm not. I make mistakes, but from those mistakes I learn. As I said earlier, when I made that mistake the other night in front of that group of people, it was embarrassing to have to come back. It was like 3 or 4 minutes later and say, hey, I feel like I wasn't honest with that. And I wasn't. That's tough. So when you condemn, and I've done this, these people are leaders that you feel like, and in the professions that are running this are trying to help in this situation with the current health crisis. If they have made mistakes, and I believe they have, and said things that weren't true, or maybe they thought were true at the time, but then later turned out not to be true, I must say it's not very integrous of them to do that, but you have to stop and think about how hard it would be for them to come back and admit they're wrong. And of course, we demand this from the people who lead us, and we should. But stop and think about how hard it would be for them to come back and say they were wrong in front of millions, billions of people. But that's the position in life they took. So that's really where the strength of a man's integrity comes in. Can he do that? A man who can come back and admit he's wrong is a hell of a man. I'm telling you what, it's a hell of a man. And in situations like those where people are in government and they're making decisions which actually can cost the lives of millions of people, as is in this health situation, for them to come back and say they were wrong, it could destroy them. But they have to live with themselves. And if you see some of them start to do that, you must give them credit. I'm not defending anyone. I don't believe it's right to do that. All I'm saying is all of us want to be understood. I know I do. And if we want to be understood, we need to try to understand people. What's the old saying? Unless you walk a mile in a man's shoes, you can't really judge him. And it's true. It's easy for us to sit back and badmouth the president. He wasn't my choice, but he is the president. I see a lot of people making fun of him and doing things like this, but does this make our country better? No, it doesn't. And I've probably made fun of him too. So there you go. But what the point I'm making here is these men that have been presidents, I have 6 kids here. I can't keep all 6 of those happy. So these presidents, there's no way that everybody's going to like what they do. I particularly don't like what's going on now. I think our country is going downhill. Okay, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know all the particulars. But when you think about that, would you want the job of the president? Would you want to make decisions that could cost, okay, today I got to make this decision, military decision, and let me see, innocent people, well, we're going to kill 50 of the enemy, whoever that happens to be today. The government tells us who the enemy is, and then we're supposed to treat them like enemy. Okay, I'll kill 50 of the enemy today with this decision, and 100 civilians will die. Men, women, and children, innocent people. But I think this decision will save thousands of American lives. Would you want to make those decisions? I wouldn't. It takes a hell of a strong man or someone who's crazy to make those type of decisions, and I don't think any of our presidents are crazy. Abraham Lincoln, think about the decisions he had to make. The enemy were his own people. That makes it even harder to justify. I think President Lincoln had a couple of nervous breakdowns, suffered from severe depression. I think he drank alcoholically at times. So those kinds of, actually he failed in several different businesses also. So if you failed a lot, you're in good company. You're never going to succeed without failure. The road to success is paved with failure. Be willing to fail. Be willing to get depressed. Be willing to get knocked down. Be willing to drag yourself up off the ground when life kicks your ass. That is a man of integrity. That is a man. You are supposed to stand up, to step up, to get back up no matter what happens. And if you have a woman, you have a wife and children, that is what they expect from you. And if you live like that, they will respect you, they will admire you, and they will be faithful to you, because that is a leader. That is a man of integrity. Thanks for joining me today. If you'd like to get my help personally, you can contact me at Mark's Inspirational Guidance. My website is marksinspiration.com, and I will see you tomorrow.